Hello besties, my name is Dylan the Bridge and welcome to my channel. Today is another older time lapse because the art block has just been hitting me. I just have not been in the mood. So I have a drawing of Dr. Habit and Kamal from Smile For Me. I love these two so much. Plus, a happy Pride Month! There were a couple and Habit is trans and that's canon. Also, um, we're talking about Daredevil. Second week, second video in a row. Not really a week. But it's not a mainline story. It is instead a what if comic. This one being what if Kingpin owned Daredevil, but not in the fanfic way. It would have been a lot spicier if it was a fanfic. The comic was published March 21st, 1995. Fun fact, another 90s. I have a lot of Daredevil comics in the 90s, that's for sure. I got this comic when Rick was staying at my place for a week. Um, but before I managed to find it in person, one night on Discord, we were looking at all the different What If comics that were released, and I saw that one, and I'm like, that title's interesting, I need to know more. But there wasn't too much, I don't think, about it. I can't really remember right now. But I, when we saw it in person, I mean, like, I had no other choice but to get it, you know? And I find it so interesting how, like, how big or small the changes can be for these What If comics. Because we had, like, the Gambit one, a few weeks ago. And that's, like, a huge change right there. He just pretty much became, like, a god. And then this one is, like, uh, a very small change compared to getting like god powers. So, the drill with spoilers ahead, let's talk about it. We start off pretty normal with Jack Murdock being killed in the alleyway after a boxing match, which of course the fixer was behind it. But now, like, one of the first major differences is that Wilson Fisk was the one to find the body, and he's with this guy that we only know as a ranger, and he informs him about Jack's son, Matthew Murdock. It's mentioned that a strange band is often seen around him, but only after he was blinded. And then Fisk tells the ranger to send Matt his condolences. We're then at Matt's school, where he's sitting on the ground outside by a basketball court where he's reading a book. We get to see into his thoughts a lot in this comic. And right now we get to learn that his dad, of course, didn't come home last night. And because he doesn't know yet, he just thinks it's due to him drinking at the bar again. And, he's on the basketball court, so there's going to be some boys playing basketball, and the ball gets loose and starts heading towards Matt. But he catches it, and they're like, oh my god, how the fuck did he do that? And one guy starts to, like, mock him, using Daredevil as like an insult and shit. So Matt throws a ball at him, and they're like, oh my god, what the fuck? And then Stick shows up behind him by the fence and tells him not to get so cocky like that. But Stick isn't there for very long as he disappears before the police show up in front of Matt. They tell him to come with them, and that is about his dad. And I love his little, like, inner thoughts for this section. And it stretches between a lot of different panels, and I'm just gonna quote it for y'all. I don't know, I just liked it. Suddenly you do know the touch of fear. Your dad's gone. You never knew your mom. There's only an icy place in your heart now, growing tighter. And the only way to drive it back with rage, the absolute need for payback that started to burn in your soul. Then a ranger shows up and hands him Fist's business card for Fist exotic spices. We also get to learn about some facts about New York, but the most important one that even though the city elects a mayor, the person who holds the true power in the city is actually Wilson Fisk. And Matt wants to get revenge, so he's like, yeah, I guess I'll go to him and see what's up. So he enters this room and there's a lot of different barrels and one of them gets knocked over, spilling the spices, but inside, or like underneath the spice, there's like the snake and he quickly grabs it out. But Wilson's hand is soon to join his and he kills the snake and tells him not to do the job halfway. He also tells Matt to call him Wilson and mentions that he knows about his unique skills and even about Stick, which really surprises Matt. And Wilson mentions that he can help Matt even the score, or he can provide the balancing out. We then get 4 panels, a car blowing up with 2 people inside, someone being pushed off a building, 2 dead at a diner, and finally the fixer getting set into a cube of concrete, still alive as it's poured over him. And oh my god, it's like absolutely brutal. We're then at Jack's funeral and we see Wilson and a ranger talking. A ranger is worried that with all these people gone, they're going to have this huge loss of revenue. But Wilson assures him that everything will be alright, all thanks to Matt. And of course Matt overhears this and he's questioning his life choices now. And we also get to see Sister Maggie at the funeral. And she really wants to take him in, but she's told no, she can't mother everyone. She can't mother every single orphan, and Wilson's already taking care of him. Matt plans to go to Columbia, but Wilson tells him he'll pay for an even bigger law school. And we also find out that Stick is disappointed in him and he'll never be able to join Stick's order, which, you know, not really missing out too much on that one. Anyways, so Matt starts to study international law, and this is what Fist wants him to focus on to hopefully one day work for him. He then starts to travel with Fist, and they actually end up in Moscow. And we get to see him jumping around the city with a black mask over his head. We then get to see how other people's lives have changed. Foggy still went to Columbia, but he ended up being stuck in never-ending divorce cases and ambulance chasing. Electra still gets kidnapped, which, by the way, she does get kidnapped. Yeah, that's the whole thing. But she never seeks revenge for her father's death because it's by the hands of the police, I believe. And she never joins the hand. Instead, she starts her own international law practice. Now, I would love if, like, they went further into that and, like, had, like, the 2 of them, like, against each other in courtroom. I think that would be sick. And now, of course, there was never an ad for Nelson and Murdoch, so Karen Page never saw that ad. Instead, there was an ad for a show called Ralph's Place. And she got that role, and it's on there for, like, at least 4 seasons. And then we get to see Ben Urich, who is not a fan of how Matt defends Wilson, calling his legal tactics irresponsible throughout many articles. We also find out Wilson's son Richard is not a fan of Matt due to all the attention Wilson and Vanessa give him. We then go over to Pier 63 where Wilson takes Matt to the storage unit with all his dad's things in it. In one of the boxes there's this devil hood, and Wilson talks about, like, Matt working for him and whatnot and with him, and Matt jokes that he's going to be making a deal with the devil because his dad actually wore that hood during, like, some boxing matches, like some old school boxing matches, and it's cute. Then Richard shows up with these 2 guys, Charlie and Marcus. And they start to shoot at Wilson. Matt tells him to get down, but it's too late. Matt is pissed after losing another father figure. He catches Charlie on fire using the same bottle Charlie threw at him. He swung a jagged plank of wood at Marcus right at his throat. He broke Richard's leg and pushed him off the ledge. We're then at Wilson's funeral, and there's talk about Matt taking up Kingpin's throne. I always find it so interesting what comic writers want to do for these what if comics, the small changes or the huge changes. Sometimes they get hella wacky, but it's cool to see another direction a character could have taken. Like this Matt Murdock is definitely not the good guy like we know and love today. But we miss out on his relationships with fucking Karen, maybe even Punisher. But I'm pretty sure Matt would be ending that relationship quickly, and it's not him that'll be winning that one. But anyway, thank you all for joining me today. I hope you liked it. I know this is a shorter video this week, but you know, these what if comics, there is either going to be a lot or a little, and it was a fun time either way. So let me know what comics y'all want me to talk about, and I'll see if I have them or if I can find them. I do really love to be able to find them in stores. I'm like, I know I can read comics online, and but I really love to hunt them down in the stores, though I will order them, don't worry. Actually, I have one that's being delivered today that I bought off eBay. So I needed one more to complete a small 5 run for some X-Men comics. Anyways, like always, my links will be down below in the card link, and I will see you all next time. Bye, besties!